This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
So I want to talk about Republican bullying for a moment. I've often said that I think that the largest danger within the Republican Party is not their racism, is not their corporatism, is not their fealty to, their loyalty to a figurehead, as it were, although it's a dimension of that. It's their authoritarianism. It's their being bullies, or their being the kind of people who are intimidated by bullies, and that helps define their identity. Joe Biden last night spoke to transgender kids in the United States. This was one of the most important parts of his speech. To the LGBT community and to these trans kids, he said, your president has your back. I mean, that's mind-boggling. And yet, the day before in Arkansas, this story was published by Megan Ellis, excuse me. The concerned father of a transgender teen in Arkansas was arrested while testifying in opposition to that state's anti-transgender health care bill. His name is Craig Addick. He's 49. Numerous right-wingers had spoken in favor of this bill. It's called the Arkansas Save Adolescents from Experiment Act, SAFE Act. And it bans health care for minors that has to do with gender dysphoria or gender affirming healthcare is how it's referred to as. And numerous right-wingers had spoken. Everybody was given 2 minutes to talk. Numerous right-wingers had taken 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. They'd gone on rants. Nobody said anything. Occasionally they said, your 2 minutes is up, and then they let them talk for a while. This guy had a prepared speech. He had prepared it down to 2 minutes. But, sometimes when you give a prepared speech, you pause or you emphasize or you restate something, because, hey, it's a prepared speech and you want to make it seem more contemporaneous or extemporaneous. And so he was, at the end of his 2 minutes, he had 30 seconds to go in his prepared remarks. And by the way, everybody had a copy of the prepared remarks. They knew it was 30 seconds. And the Republican chairperson said, your time is up. That's it. And he said, speaking to the trans kids out there in Arkansas, he said, no matter what happens here today, you are loved. You are loved. And State Representative Jack Ladyman said, your time is up. And he tried to finish that sentence, you are loved, we are here with you, et cetera, et cetera. And what they did was they lifted him out of his seat and they put handcuffs on him and they hauled him out of the room. And during an interview with them.us, he said, it was just shocking, sitting there in jail, thinking that this is what happens when you speak to people about how their proposed lives are affecting your children. He's the child of a transgender child, or the parent of a transgender child. He said, they don't want to hear it. They put you in jail. He said, whether or not these laws are targeted at somebody above or below the age of 18, the singular message they are sending is that it is okay to bully and persecute people who are trans. It says, hey, the legislature's doing it, why can't I? And it's absolutely right. I mean, this is the brand of the Republican Party now, bully, being bullies. They are bullies toward women. Oh, you want to get an abortion? Plan on spending the rest of your life in jail. And down in Texas, we're going to give you the death penalty. You're not, a normal straight man or woman. We're going to bully you. We're going to make life miserable for you. We're going to, our Supreme Court is going to say that they don't have to bake a cake for your wedding or take pictures. You're a person of color? Oh, we have a whole different set of standards when it comes to policing people of color in the United States. And at the core of every single one of these things, and I could go on, I mean, the list goes on, at the core of every single one of them is this idea that bullying is a core value for the GOP. Donald Trump Jr. wrote an entire book about owning the libs. In other words, how to be a bully, how to hurt people's feelings, how to irritate people, how to upset people, how to get away with it, how to do it legally, how to do it elegantly, how to do it in ways that are really funny. You've got these pickup trucks now where they've rerouted a little bit of oil directly into the carburetor, and you can just push a button or stomp on the gas in a particular way, and that oil gets right into the gasoline mixture, and an enormous cloud of smoke comes out the tail end. And so they'll pull in front of a Prius or some other, or an electric car on the freeway, and then just push the button, and suddenly the person behind them is covered in this cloud of stinky, poisonous, cancer-causing smoke. And they think this is funny. They're out with their giant Trump flag, pulling over the bus that had Kamala Harris in it to go to a Harris-Biden rally down in Texas. And Donald Trump goes on Twitter and, with a picture of it, and says, hey, do more of this. And sure enough, they did more of that. He told the police, Trump told the police, the Police Chiefs Association, hey, when you're dealing with somebody that you suspect of being a criminal, now keep in mind, from the founding of our republic, based on the abuses of the old British system, from the founding of our republic, the idea has been that you are innocent until proven guilty. And it's the job of the government to prove your guilt. You don't have to prove your innocence, which is quite different from the Napoleonic code, where you have to. But that's a whole other conversation. But that's been our fundamental premise from the beginning, that you're innocent. And so Donald Trump is saying to the chiefs of police, take these innocent people, or potentially innocent people, or some percentage of them at least are going to be innocent people, and beat the crap out of them, rough them up. You don't have to put your hand on their head so that they don't bang their head on the top of the car. Give them a good bruise. A little traumatic brain injury won't be bad. Somebody out in the crowd beats somebody up who's got an anti-Trump poster, and what does Trump say? I'll pay your legal fees. Knock him down. Remember this? This is now their brand. The governor of Oklahoma, I think, Jigan Forte, however you say his name, he made his chops. What made him famous? He went from being an obscure member of the House of Representatives to becoming the governor, because he said to a reporter, I'm going to break you physically. Like they were, in the Capitol building, and they were near the railing, like, I'm going to throw you over this railing, I'm going to harm you. This is their brand. I am convinced that authoritarianism is the most dangerous aspect of the Republican Party and of the conservative movement. I think it is the foundation, frankly, of their racism and their misogyny. What say you?